Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. You know him on social media as Royale Eats. Now he's cooking up everything from pancakes to pasta in his very first cookbook. Let's get into it. 130 plus comfort food recipes for novice cooks. It's our pleasure to welcome Chef Davon Moseley. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a blessing to be here.
Congratulations on your book. How does it feel? It just came out a couple days ago.
It's surreal, it definitely feels good. I'm still taking it all in day by day, but it's just amazing to be able to, bring this book to all my supporters.
I know your family is a big inspiration for you and probably where some of these recipes come from. Are they so beyond proud of you right now?
Yeah, I've been getting a ton of messages, a ton of calls. It's amazing. That's who I do it for. I do it for my family. So to see them proud and happy for me, it means everything.
I've seen you be able to cook with your mom a couple times on social media too. There she is. Look at you two. Oh my gosh, how fun is it to be in the kitchen with her?
It's amazing. Growing up, of course, she did most of the cooking, and stuff like that, and anytime I was in the kitchen with her, but, now being in a position to be able to cook with her, it's super fun, it's super cool, and she's enjoying every moment of it.
Tell me about tapping into your family's roots, because you're from the DC area, but mom's got a lot of North Carolina in her background. I imagine there's a lot of regional recipes coming into play.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, I grew up in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, but on both sides of my family, the roots are in North Carolina. So a lot of soul food, a lot of comfort food, with those roots. And, I try my best to replicate the food that, I grew up eating when we would go down there. And then, also, including some different recipes from the DMV area as well in there. Just try to really tackle my roots and, put it all into this book.
Tell me about the title, because your social media followers know that's your tagline. Let's get into it. We're about to make something delicious. How did you decide that that was going to be your thing in your videos?
It honestly just came naturally. I was just saying it just to say it, using it as a segment to transition from my introduction into, the actual video. And I wasn't really thinking on it. I was just saying it, just naturally. And then I found myself switching it up for a couple videos. And then people started messaging me saying, don't do that again. Keep it, let's get into it. So, the people chose it.
Well, your content is so comforting. I find a lot of social media videos are really loud and fast cuts and kind of overwhelming. Your voice is so calming. You take your time. Do people tell you that it's kind of really comforting to them?
For sure, I wanted these things to be approachable. Of course, with social media, you only have so much time, to keep people, engaged. But, I wanted to be able to find that balance between, moving at a, natural pace, keeping things within a minute, but also making it so that if someone wanted to replicate this recipe, they felt comfortable enough being able to watch it and being able to listen to it and, be able to replicate the recipe. So, it all went into, just thinking about the people when I make the content.
Well, it's true. Like in the title of your book, you write for novice cooks. And I do feel like when I'm watching you do this stuff, I'm a self-proclaimed disaster in the kitchen. But following along at a slower pace, it does feel like, okay, I could try this. I could realistically see myself recreating this recipe at home.
For sure. That's the goal. I want everyone to be able to watch it and see it and be like, okay, like I think I can do this. No matter, the extent of the recipe, no matter how hard it looks or how easy it looks, I want everybody to feel like it's approachable and that, they could give it a try.
Do you have any favorites or must-try things from the book that you hope people will make just right away at home?
Actually, one you just showed, those brown butter Rice Krispie
Okay.
treats. I definitely feel like that's something that a lot of people enjoy, especially with the kids and stuff like that. A super simple recipe, but just putting a little twist on it with the brown butter, and you can definitely tell, the difference in that. But every recipe is great, I definitely believe everyone enjoy it, but the simple treats, I know we all love those.
Well, you cover all the bases: pasta, pancakes, I saw tacos. I mean, every culinary category is covered in a way that we can relate to, so we appreciate you bringing it to us.
For sure, for sure. I do it for y'all.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It was so great chatting with you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Okay, the book again is Let's Get Into It. We'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.